Hi, singers. Welcome back to the Sing Confidently Live Creatively podcast. Estelle here. I was talking to my husband and I realized that I don't really do intros to what the show is about, really, every episode. And I'm realizing that some of you might be coming to this episode and this show for the first time. And it might be helpful for you to know what we're going to be talking about and what the show is all about. Today, I am going to be sharing some support, some tips, some helpful things for you to think about when it comes to holding out notes without running out of air. If you struggle with quote unquote breath support or quote unquote breath management when it comes to holding out notes, which the breath may not even be the actual issue. It might just be about your efficiency and how you're using the breath. So there's the answer to the question, but we're going to get into it in detail in just a second. But that is what we're talking about today. But just so you know, this show is all about helping you sing with confidence, build confidence as a singer so you can have a more creative life. Because I grew up singing and being in the arts and all of that, but I was told that, like, in order to be an adult, in order to, grow up, you have to kind of do a more serious path. You have to do a different career and all that stuff. And so I know that some of us, we have this desire to be creative and to do things in the arts. And yet it gets kind of, um, like life just kind of takes it out of us a little bit as we get older. And so I really love to focus on adults, especially women, because I know most of you are women, like in your 20s and 30s. I know that's most of you who are listening. You're mainly adults and you're wanting to come back to singing and you're wanting to develop as a performer and maybe even do this professionally. And you want to really be serious about building confidence in your voice and as a performer, whether you're performing in auditions, whether you're performing in shows as a musical theater performer, singer-songwriter. So I want this to be your place where you can always come back to again and again for evidence-based vocal warm-ups, evidence-based tips to help you grow in your vocal technique, as well as just like inspiration and support and empowerment in order for you to keep going on this creative journey, because I know that there will be ups and downs and I want to be here for you. So that is what the show is all about. It's about helping you build confidence as a singer and a performer, and so that you can live a creative life. This is for the people who are serious about wanting creative lives. And I'm one of those people. I know you are too. So yeah, that's my little intro. I'm going to try to, just like remind people who are new what it's all about in each episode, but I don't have like an intro anymore. I just cut it out so that I would just get into the topic. But that's what's up. Just a heads up. That's what this show is all about. So today I want to talk to you if you are struggling with holding out notes. There are so many things that like we can talk about that could potentially need to be targeted. And the main thing that everyone always goes to if you're struggling with holding out notes is like, oh, I need better breath support. I need to breathe more. I need to breathe deeper or whatnot. And yes, disclaimer, like for sure, it could be that you are maybe not taking a deep enough breath. Like maybe you're taking what we call a clavicular breath, which is when you like breathe, you do like a breath like this, and you're just like kind of breathing in the tops of your lungs and your shoulders go up and your chest goes up and everything gets kind of tight around your neck. If you're breathing like that, then yeah, the breathing might be the actual issue. Most of the time, that's not it. I found with students and a lot of vocal pedagogues, voice teachers will say the same thing. Like it's not always about the breathing, but that could be one thing. So check if that is what's happening. You're not taking a deep like breath where you are breathing in and your tummy is like maybe even getting a little bit bigger as your lungs lower, as your diaphragm lowers and your lungs fill up with air. You should be getting that nice deep breath. But regardless, yeah, that might not be the actual issue, but that is kind of what most people go to is like, okay, I need to take a deeper breath. That could lead to over breathing. And again, that tension that I talked about around your neck and your shoulders, like that could be like maybe you are taking a really deep breath, but then you're breathing so much and now you're like kind of feeling like this and everything is very tense. So those are the things we want to avoid is not taking too shallow of a breath, but also not over breathing and taking such a deep breath that your lungs are so filled up that you've caused tension around your neck and your throat. So yeah, when it comes to holding out long notes, a lot of times we go back to the breathing aspect. And if breathing is an issue, it's probably one of these two things where you are over breathing or you're taking too shallow of a breath. So consider that if that is you, like check yourself as you're breathing in, as you're just like practicing the song that you're working on or this note that you are wanting to sing. Notice how you are breathing, but I want you to know that that's not the only thing, and that might not even be the issue at all. So, when it comes to holding out longer notes at the end of a song, or like you're building a song, maybe you're getting to like the second chorus or the bridge, and there's like this long held note, right? When it comes to holding out the note, it might not actually be about whether or not you're taking a good enough breath. It's probably, and even if you are not taking a good enough breath, this is still something to think about, is that you probably are not using your voice and the airflow that is coming through efficiently. You need more efficient use of your sound. You need a more efficient use of the air that is flowing. And so that what does that mean? It means you should ask yourself, am I releasing all of my air too quickly and not realizing it? And I'm not using my voice efficiently. And the efficiency comes with making sure that every part of your singing mechanism is coordinated and you're not releasing all the air in one fell swoop, right? You're not just going, ah, and then it's all gone, right? Here, let me turn on my original sound so you can hear that. You're not just going, ah, and then all the air is gone. It's super airy, right? Versus considering how are you then using the air that you've breathed in to then sing that note? Are you singing efficiently? So, some things to think about in order to get and build and to develop this efficient singing, because it's not something that it's not going to become necessarily easy right from the jump, because you are working on coordinating and building technique in different muscles at the same time in order to sing, right? So give yourself patience. But in order to practice efficient singing, a couple things to think about. One, are you releasing the air with a focused end goal? Like, are you going to crescendo the note? Are you going to start with a straight tone and then release a little bit of vibrato? The reason that I'm saying this is because if you have like a focused goal, like mentally for how you're going to use your air, then you're not going to just release it all at once in order to sing this note and hope and pray and cross your fingers that you can hold it out for however many beats you want to hold it out for, right? You're going to be able to know that, okay, I'm going to crescendo the note, so I'm going to start a little bit softer. And because I'm going to start a little bit softer, it's not going to require as much volume. And so I can kind of like pace myself and build the note. So if I'm going to sing la, right, and I want to crescendo it, I can start a little bit softer and make sure that I know that the end goal is to grow the note, la, right? And I'm growing the note gradually. And what happens is I'm gradually adding a little bit more air and a little bit more air pressure. So that way I'm using my sound efficiently. I'm not just releasing all the air at once, but I'm growing it. I'm growing the amount of air that I'm using, and as well as the amount of pressure that I'm using to like increase the volume. And so I think crescendoing is a really good tool to help you grow a note, which is important and helpful, but also to help you kind of like feel in your own voice how it feels to increase airflow and air pressure at the same time. That helps you increase the volume. So, and it's just a great way to kind of like help you get a more focused sound as a singer so that you're not releasing all your air at once. So that's one thing to think about. Can you crescendo? The other thing is to like start with a straight tone and then release to a vibrato, which can also align with crescendoing at the same time. Crescendoing, by the way, means just to get louder on a note. So if I'm going to start with a straight tone and then kind of like maybe allow a little bit more vibrato in my voice, I might start with the la, and then I allow a little bit of vibrato, and it just becomes this like freer sound. And so think about, what is your end goal with this note? Do you want to crescendo it? Do you want it to get a little bit louder? Do you want to release some vibrato in it? So that might help you, so that you have basically planned out how you're going to sing the note, so that you're not just hoping and praying that you can get to the end of it. So that's one thing that I want you to think about. The other thing I want you to think about when it comes to holding out notes in order to make sure that you're using your voice efficiently is to think about how, again, on the exhale of the note, how are you engaging in your body? So, are you engaging your abdominals, your tummy? Like as you're taking that breath in, like the breath in is usually not even the issue. It's usually about how you're efficiently using the air after you sing out, right? So are you engaging your abdominals as you sing out on that la? Are your abdominals, your tummy, the muscles in your tummy, there are multiple muscles that will be engaged here. But I'm just gonna say abdominals just to as a general like overarching term. But, and these are the muscles like around where your belly button is, all the way around to where like the sides of your tummy, right? So these abdominal muscles should be engaging, should be contracting slowly as you're breathing out the note. What that does is that it provides a bit of resistance to how fast your diaphragm goes back up to its regular place and how fast your lungs release all the air. Okay. So that can be helpful. It's just to think about, oh, I'm going to keep my abdominals, let them remain engaged, contract them a little bit, let them come in slowly as I'm releasing this note. That could help you create a little bit of resistance or what we call support. That's just one thing. Okay. And then the last thing that I want you to think about is what vowel are you using? So I'm talking about different aspects of the vocal mechanism and making all these things work together. Like, okay, your abdominals, like your breathing could be part of it. But, and then of course you have your, mentally, like, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about crescendoing? Are you thinking about increasing more pressure in your airflow in order to get that louder volume, right? But then this last thing I want you to think about is the vowel shape that you're using. Depending on the note, depending on where it is in your voice, it's going to differ. So I can't really give you an official, like, use this vowel every time you are holding out a note because that's not going to work, right? But I want you to think about, is the vowel that you're using, is it helping you so that you can have that for a forward resonance? Is it allowing you to kind of produce the sound that comes out right in front of you? Or is the vowel that you're using, is the shape of your mouth, are you kind of like keeping the sound in the back of your throat? Because the difference between that is going to impact how your vocal folds are working, which is going to impact how well you're using the air that is coming through. So you need to think about your vowel shape. Now, this is something you can play around with. Try different things. Let yourself grow. Let yourself be creative in your vocal process of like, how am I going to hold out this note? Am I going to, again, going through what I just said, are you going to think about releasing the air with a focused goal? Do I want to crescendo? Am I going to use a little bit more air pressure in a crescendo so that way I'm not going to release all my air at one time, but I'm going to increase the use of the air over time. So maybe that's what you want to play around with. Or play around with, okay, maybe I need to engage my abdominals a little bit more. Are they contracting as I'm singing out? Or are they just kind of like not really doing anything and not helping create a good amount of resistance? And then lastly, just play around with, is this vowel a little bit too throaty? Like, is the throat too open in this vowel? Do I need to open it more in the front so that the throat can be a little bit more closed so that I can really use my air a little bit more efficiently? All of that affects how your vocal folds are actually working. So it's kind of cool. You can change your vowel shape and that will literally impact how much air you're using, like how your air is being used, how efficiently your air is going to be used, and how your vocal folds are kind of releasing that air. So it's kind of cool when you're allowing yourself to play around and be free and not like putting yourself in this box of like, okay, if I don't get it right now in this particular way that I heard this person sing, then I'm not even going to try. You've already, like, by doing that, you've already, like, what's the phrase? You've already cut yourself at the knees. What's that phrase? I can't remember what the phrase is. Let me know if you remember. But you've already man, I'm not remembering any of my words right now. But if you are comparing yourself to like how this person is singing and because you don't get it right or you don't hold it out as long as you want to from the very first instant, from the very first instance, then you are simply you're not giving yourself a chance, okay? You're not giving yourself enough of a chance, and you're not allowing yourself to be an artist. As an artist, you You have to be creative in finding different ways that will work for your voice to do what your voice needs to do. Period. End of story. You have to be willing to try different things, and that includes applying a little bit of vocal technique and like, okay, how am I using my voice efficiently in order to find a solution for yourself as a singer? Okay, so I'm here to empower you and to encourage you that you can do this. You have to be willing to play around. You have to be willing to try some of these different things. That's why I said there are so many things to consider when it comes to holding out notes. But I hope that this at least gives you at least a few things that you can try out and see if if shifting some of these things are going to help you create a more efficient sound, which is what you need in order to hold out notes longer. You need to be singing efficiently. You need to be using your air in a way that's not releasing it all at once, but kind of like letting it come out over time and then maybe building the note, growing the note, things like that. So I hope this helps you. I know that it's just so hard to speak about this if I'm not hearing you sing in the moment, but I want you to know that I know that these are tools that can work, like having the more focused end goal to crescendo a note, increasing your resistance in your abdominals by contracting them a little bit, and then changing the vowel shape. These are tools that can work, but you have to be able to apply them and be willing to, play around with them. And I can give you in the moment feedback at the Sing Confidently Masterclass. So make sure that you are signed up for the masterclass coming this month. Yay, welcome to May. Okay, it's coming this month, and I would love to support you and give you in the moment instant feedback where I can actually hear you singing and give you like, oh, just do this, or oh, let's try this and see how that works. Oh, that didn't work. Okay, well, let's try this instead. Okay, that works better for you, right? That's what happens in spotlight coaching when you get that instant feedback in the moment in a masterclass like this. And it's not about being perfect. It's not about sounding the best and who sounds the best. It's not a competition, but it's a matter of like, let's learn together and learn from hearing other singers and get instant in the moment feedback that's actually going to help you grow as a singer and feel more confident in your voice. Okay, we'll just briefly work together, but there is a sign up sheet that I'm sending out to you guys if you signed up, and I'll send it out again depending on how many people sign up. But yeah, make sure that you go ahead and go to creativelybyestelle.com/studio and sign up as soon as possible so that you can get that spotlight coaching, so I can hear you sing and give you the feedback that will work specifically for your voice, because every single voice is different. Everyone is singing different songs, right? So as much as I really believe that these tools that I've given you in this episode are helpful to you, at the same time, I can't really help you fully if I don't hear you sing and give you that instant feedback. So make sure you sign up for the masterclass so you can get that free coaching, even if it's just for a few moments in the masterclass. But in addition, of course, I'll be talking through like how you can continue to build confidence as a singer. I'll be sharing science evidence-based technique, important technique that so many singers do not know, and you absolutely ought to know in order to feel more confident about how you're using your voice. And so make sure that you are there for the masterclass. I'm going to be focusing on riffing a little bit in that masterclass when it comes to the technique and exercises and stuff, because I know a lot of you are interested in riffs and runs. So definitely sign up at creativelybyestelle.com/studio. Okay, I think I have talked enough for today. Although you guys know I love to chat about singing all day long, but I think that's enough. Let me know if you have any questions. You can always reach out to me on Instagram at creativelybyestelle, or my email hello@creativelybyestelle.com. You guys know where to find me. All the things are in the show notes, but definitely reach out if you have any questions whatsoever. I'm here to help and support you, even if you just came to the show for the first time. Like, hey girl, welcome. Thank you for listening. I would love to support you in any way that I possibly can. So definitely reach out if you have any questions about what I've talked about today, because I know we all want to sing beautifully. We all want to have beautifully held out notes, and it's hard sometimes. Like, it's hard to know how to fix it if it's not quite working. And so I really believe the masterclass will be helpful to you, because you'll be able to ask that burning question, get that help in the moment right then and there. But you can also reach out to me anytime and ask your questions, and I'd be happy to help. All right, I hope this encouraged you, empowered you, and inspired you, and helped you to build confidence in your voice even more. I will talk to you later.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and to this show. I'm so in awe of you for being here and showing up for your creative gifts. That takes courage. Don't forget to join the performing arts community on Facebook for support and inspiration as you continue on your journey. If this episode helped or inspired you in any way, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts and share it with someone. It means so much. Thank you again, and don't forget to keep singing, acting, dancing, performing, and living creatively. Talk to you next time.